conversation, you know, I just thought about putting something on wax, man, based on a conversation I had before I got off. But before I get started, I'd like to give all glory, honors, and prayers unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Ruchat Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalom. Alright, and like I stated, in the introduction, this particular video is going to be predicated on the conversation I was having, as we were getting off from work, you know, with a guy who I work with. Now, this guy is, I wouldn't even say, he's not really privy to anything. I've heard him shoot a couple of little, you know, shots at some sort of truth-seeking, you know, shit, but I try to stray away from conversations like that with guys at the work spot, you know, at the plantation and shit. But you know, nevertheless, this guy, he was talking about, you know, World War III, and I have been seeing the video that he showed me, but he was showing me the president of China. I was going into how if the United States strikes first, they won't get the opportunity to strike again. And so, you know, as I'm listening to the guy talk, what he was saying was pretty much how will we defend, how can we you know, basically avoid those ICBM nuclear missiles? Like, in what fashion can you know, avoid that? And it just was like a sudden fear, okay, engulfed them. All right, and as a prophet, right, which this guy has no inclination of what I do or the truth or anything like that, but it's exciting to see people feel the prophecies coming to pass. All right, it's exciting because first and foremost, these are the things in which we do you know, have a fear, because we understand that it's not guaranteed that, you know, salvation will be granted unto us. But as far as the actual thing happening, you know, we're not afraid of that, man. We're actually looking forward for these things to happen. Okay? And I'm gonna grab this real quick. Salakia. I didn't have anything lined up. I just was flowing through the spirit. Real quick. Yeah. The book of Joel, chapter 2. And I'm gonna start at 1, man. Alright. The point is in 7, okay? 7 and 8. But I'm gonna just start at the top, man. It says, "Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, sound the alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand." Right, the day of the Lord is coming. All right, and we have been blowing the trumpet. Okay, this video epistle right here is a blowing of the trumpet, not only, okay, to the nation of Israel, but according to Isaiah the 34th chapter, in the first few verses, all right, we're declaring, you know, war, okay, between Babylon the Great and its inhabitants and Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, man, okay, and the elect. Okay, verse 2, it says, "A day of darkness and a day of gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains. A great people and a strong. There hath not been ever the like, neither shall there be any more after it, even to the years of many generations." All right, and it's a lot to unpack right there, but we're gonna get through it. Okay, but it said in the beginning, It said a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, because pretty much the Christian community, all right, they believe that the day of the Lord is filled with roses and hugs and lollipops and shit, man. All right, but the scriptures are telling us something clean contrary to that. It's a day of darkness, gloominess, all right, pain and suffering, lamenting. All right, it says a great people and a strong. All right, back in the second verse, in the latter of that verse, it says a great people and a strong. That's talking about those ICBM nuclear missiles. All right, it says there had not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it. Right, and there's never been ICBM nuclear missiles, all right, capable of the destruction, okay, in the range like these missiles ever before. This is the first time in history that a weapon of mass destruction like these weapons, all right, have been created. Okay, and I'm gonna go over to the blue letter and grab another precept to back this up. The book of Isaiah. Where am I? Yeah, the book of Isaiah, the 9th chapter. All right. What is it? No, I think it's the 5th chapter. Slide. Is it? Yeah, I'm tripping. Slide it. Let me get it right quick. Bear with me. Yeah, 9 and 5, man. I'm tripping. I was right there on topic. All right, this Isaiah chapter 9 and 5. It says, "For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. But this shall be with the burning and fuel of fire." All right, and the book of Joel, the 2nd chapter, gonna go into it more, and there's other scriptures, right? But nevertheless, it said that every battle of the warrior is with confused noise, right? Because in the ancient world, when two opposing kingdoms, right, went to war, it was the traditional warfare, all right, up close and personal, war cries, all right, war drums being beaten, okay, things of that nature. But in this time, Esau has created a device in which he could just, by the push of a button, blow up a whole goddamn continent, man. It has that much destructive power that it can cause catastrophic damage to a whole continent. You see, and affect the surrounding areas through radiation poisoning, okay, and things of that nature. All right, hey, look at Chernobyl. All right, there's so much radiation in Chernobyl, okay, that there's mutations in the wildlife. You know, deers being born with 3 eyes and multiple legs. All right, fish being born with 2 heads, and that's just some of the cases that I've seen personally. All right, but I'm gonna go back to the Joel 2. All right, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna just quote it because I'm getting close to home. You know, Jake gonna get home and clean off this fucking rust and dirt and grime and shit, man. But nevertheless, the scriptures tell you, that the Lord had created the smith to blow the coals. All right, going into these different scientists like Robert Oppenheimer, okay, and guys like Abraham, Esau. You see, different guys who basically are the forefathers, for these nuclear weapons. You see? Damn, I done dropped my phone. Alright, slack it, bro. Bear with me. Alright, I got it. But I'm gonna finish this Joel out. Alright. It says back in verse 2, the latter portion, it says, neither shall there be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. Alright, going into when the kingdom of heaven is being established, okay, after this wicked ass kingdom go down, after this Babylon is thrown down, alright, there will not be a need for any more ICBM nuclear weapons, alright, missiles. Alright, there won't be a need for guns, tanks, grenades, fighter jets, things of that nature, warships. Okay, we will have all the power, okay, to bring forth judgment. You see, we will have all of the nations under subjection, and we're gonna rule in righteousness, in pure judgment. You see, verse 3, it says, a fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. Right? So the fire, the fire that devoureth before them is the warheads. Okay, basically the tip of those nuclear missiles, which contain multiple warheads. And so that's another thing the guy was basically explaining to me, not knowing, what the scriptures say about how many missiles, the 200 million missiles it mentions in Revelations, right? Things of that nature. But nevertheless, the guy was like, man, China has this one ICBM nuclear missile, and it has 60 warheads. How can we defend ourselves from that? But that's what it's talking about. Those warheads contain the explosive power. Alright? It says, and behind them a flame burning. That's going into the thrusters. Alright? The thrusters is basically the where the fuel is burned off at the end. Alright, where you see that thick smoke and it look like a fire. Well, it is a fire, alright, but it's propelling that missile into low orbit space. Okay? It says the land is as the Garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness, yea, and nothing can escape them. You see? So just as you brothers and sisters, if you're watching this, you see how lush and green the grass is, the trees are full of life, right? There flowers blooming and shit. That was a reference showing the vegetation on the earth and shit right before the missiles hit. Okay, life right before the missiles hit. And then it said what? And behind them a desolate wilderness, meaning everything was blown away, devoured, okay, by those warheads. Okay, the destructive power is so immense that it's going to eviscerate, okay, all life. And nothing, it said what? Yea, and nothing shall escape them. Nothing. Not the animals, alright? Not nobody in no damn bunker. None of that shit, man. Those people in those bunkers are gonna get roasted, alright, in an oven. This not a Hollywood flick, okay? This not a Hollywood film in which they gonna go in these bunkers and sit there for 50 years until the radiation stop. Alright, this is not Fallout, man. Those bunkers are gonna act as ovens. Alright, I'm gonna keep reading. It says, verse 4, the appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen so shall they run. Alright, so when all of these different nations shoot off their missiles, it's gonna when Jake see those missiles being fired off, they're gonna be in formation, man. They're gonna be in the specific and respected ranks, right? As they coming over here to America, right? Like I stated in Isaiah, the 9th chapter and the 5th verse. When you look at the ancient way of fighting, I should say war, okay? Both sides line up. Alright, the horsemen in the front, okay? And they line up. That's how those missiles go. You see? It says, verse 5, like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains, shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of fire that devoured the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. See? But if you ever heard like one of those rocket ships getting like SpaceX or some shit like that with Elon Musk, it sounds like thousands of horses are running at one time. It give a loud rumble. Okay? It says, verse 6, before their face, the people shall be much pain in all their face, and all faces shall gather blackness. You see? They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war, and shall march every one on his way, and they shall not break their ranks. Alright, so none of these as these missiles are mounting up and preparing themselves, okay, to come over here, as they're being shot out of those silos that are hidden all around the world by all of these different nations, okay, they're gonna be shot off simultaneously. All right, and none of them gonna break their ranks. All right, none of them are gonna go outside of the designated destination. All right, whatever state that specific missile is designed to hit. All right, or programmed to hit, should I say? All right, they're not gonna break their ranks. They're gonna hit the intended target, for lack of a better words. All right, verse 8, it says, neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk every one on his path, and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. All right, so none of these missiles are gonna run into each other. They're not gonna bump each other. They're not gonna burst in the air before they reach their designated target. And I'm pretty sure you have some gainsayers out there that find that hard to believe, but nevertheless, man, the Lord gonna have his spirit on those missiles, man. Okay, he gonna have his spirit on those missiles that they should hit the intended target. Remember, the Lord prophesied an immense destruction, and he gonna make sure it happens. It won't be anything less than amazing to see. Okay, this action, you know, this plot put in action, man, by Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. All right, but let me see. Yeah, I'll read these last two because I'm approaching my destination. I'll read these last two. It says, neither, I read that one already. Verse 9, they shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb upon houses. They shall enter in at the windows like a thief. Right? Because it's only going to take an ICBM nuclear missile take between 25 to 30 minutes to reach the intended target. Okay? From wherever it's shot off from. Some places quicker than that, man. All right? And these people won't have time to brace for impact. None of that. If you caught up in those missiles hitting America, there's nothing that you could do, man. Verse 10, the earth shall quake before them, the heavens shall tremble, the sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. Right? So when these missiles hit, they're going to have so much kinetic force and destructive energy that they're gonna actually make the earth rock to and fro, man. Okay, like a drunkard, as the scriptures say. You see, and it's gonna blot out the sun. Okay, see, like a nigga like that, he don't have no idea what's going on in the world. But nevertheless, all right, we're talking about a day like no other, man. A day like no other. All right, but that's all I really had. You know, I didn't expect for it to go this long, but I definitely wanted to share my thoughts on that conversation with Jake, man. You know, the world is slowly waking up to the fact that there's an impending doom, and there's nothing that they can do about it. All right. So before I get out of here, I'd like to give all glory, honors, and prayers unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Ruchak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to those elect. Shalom and a Baba.